Nowhere in the lone sentence that comprises Title IX, the 1972 law that forbids discrimination, denial of benefits or exclusion on the basis of sex in any education program or activity that receives federal financial assistance, does the word sports appear. The law that opened playing fields to millions of women never specifically mentions its best-known application. It was a nuance in the phrasing, a choice of words that nearly didn't happen, that made Title IX become synonymous with cataclysmic change for female athletes. In those 37 words is the word activity. And because of that word, it's the only reason, really, that we have women's sports today, said tennis immortal and women's rights activist Billie Jean King. And the reason everybody thinks it's about women's sports is because we're so visible. You don't look at people sitting in a classroom. Speaking by phone while traveling to Washington to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Title IX being signed into law, King recalled a conversation she had 15 years ago with the late Senator Birch Bayh of Indiana, who is credited with shepherding Title IX through the Senate. The late Patsy Mink of Hawaii, the first woman of color elected to Congress, got it through the House of Representatives. Bayh, whose advocacy for equality was inspired by his wife Marvella having been refused admission to law school because of her gender, told King the final wording of Title IX was almost accidental. He said they almost didn't put activity into the law. That they couldn't decide. Do we even need it? King said. And then as a catch-all they said, let's just leave it in. You never know. They couldn't know it would be life-changing for women who previously had to beg, borrow and improvise to play sports. You don't understand inclusion, King said, unless you've been excluded. King grew up in Long Beach, where the main library now bears her name. She played tennis at Cal State LA, but there were no scholarships for female athletes and she worked 2 jobs while in school.